Hello friends, welcome to my channel. This is Charan. Let's continue the JavaScript and CSS tips and tricks tutorial series. Now in this video tutorial, I will explain using a range slider how to change dynamically the font size, the letters, the gap between the letters and the line spaces using a JavaScript and CSS. So let's start the tutorial. Now let's check the final output of our application, how to add dynamically the font size, line spaces and space between the letters using the range slider. Now these are the default values I have set, the range between 5 to 30. When I move, see here, the font size is increasing. And as well as if I move the line space, see, the line space is also decreasing, now increasing the line spaces. Now the letter, the character space between each character, see, the character space is also is working. For this video tutorial, I am using Visual Studio Code. First, let's open our folder, which is the JavaScript tutorials, and here it is. Our folder is added to the VS Explorer. Let me expand this folder. Now, inside this folder, I will create line space, character space, and font size .htm. And here we got the newly created HTML file. Let me minimize this VS Explorer as well as I am closing this welcome page. Now let's write the coding part. First let's add the basic doc type HTML and after that I am adding the header section. Below the header section I am adding the body element. Now inside this body I am adding one center tag. Let's add the h1 center tag. Let's add the center tag h1. How to add dynamically the font size, line space, and I require the space between letters. Letter. That's it. After that I am adding one horizontal line. Now after the horizontal line I am adding one div element which contains some content which this is a friend and welcome. Let's add the welcome to my channel. Welcome to my channel. This is Charan. Just for the demo purpose I am adding this text. Let's copy this one. Now notice that in this div I got some content here. Now my aim is using the sliders, 3 range sliders. First one is the font size. If you use the sliders, the font size will increase. The second slider will be the line spaces between the two lines or lines. Now my aim is I will add 3 range sliders, one for the font size, second one for the line spaces between this div, the content and the space between each character. 3 range sliders. Let's add those ones first. After the div tag I am adding another div. The first one, class. Let's add the class called range container. Let's add the label first. Label class is equals to range label. For is equals to font range. This is the font size. Now I require the input type is equals to range. id is equals to font range, this is id, and range element contains a minimum value is let's add the minimum value 1, let's add the font size 5, and maximum value around 30, maximum value is 30, and default value of this range is 15. Let's close this one, and what we require here, we'll add class also. One class is equals to range input, and on change event. When on change, update div content, which is a JavaScript functionality, will add. Now again, now after that I want to show the label. So span class is equals to range minimum value. Here I have mentioned 5, so I want to display 5 here. Copy this one. Range maximum value, how much I have added? 30 here, 30, and what's happening? Span id is equals to, let's add the font value, base default value is 15. That's it. Now the second div for the let's copy this one. First one is a font range, font size. Second one is a and second one for the line spaces. Let's div class. Let's add the div class, div element class. Class is a range container only, range container. Label. Instead of adding the same thing, let's copy this one. Paste here. We'll change here. For this is the line range. This is the heading is the line space. Label. Range class is the we don't require here. Class is the range input. Let's put the range input, and this one is a line range. The minimum value I'm adding 1 here, and the maximum value gaps I'm adding 3, and step I want to add. This is not value. Step is equals to 0.1. I want to increase the step 0.1, and default value is 1.5. On change event, update div content. That's it. Now here I am adding, this is a range minimum class. Font value I am adding line value. Change the minimum value is 1, maximum value is 3, and default value is 1.5. Again, let's copy this one, paste here. Now this one for range character range, character range, range, range input line ID. I'm changing to character range. Minimum value is 1 and maximum value is 10. The step I am increasing, this one is the line space, font size. This is a character space, character or letter space, letter tab space. This one maximum value we have added 10, and this is the 1.5. The range we set to default value is 0, and this is 0. That's it. That's it. We have done the designing part. We have a div container with some data. Below that we got 3 range sliders. First one for the font size, second one for the line spaces, and the third one is the letter space, each letter space. Let's add here one more horizontal line. And now it's time to write the JavaScript functionality. Here I am adding in the header section, I am adding script function. Let's add the function. The function name is the update div content. Let's copy this one. Div content. Variable, first one is the font size. Font size is equals to document.getElement by ID. Font size ID is the font range. Copy this one. Font range. Between single quotes, I am adding font range dot value. Again, variable line spacing, line space. Let's add the line spacing. Same thing, document dot get element by ID. ID between single quotes, the line space is line range. Copy this one and paste here line range dot value. And character space, character spacing is equals to document.getElement by ID dot value. Let's grab that one which is a character range. Copy that one, char range. I'm adding here, and after that, we require this div ID. Div element I want to change depend on the slide ranges, so I require this div ID also. My div. Here I am adding document.getElement by ID, which is my div. Copy this one. Dot. The first one is a font range, which is a font size. So style dot font size. This variable I am adding. Font size is a pixels. Again, document dot get element by ID. My div. Now second one is a line spacing, which is a line height. There is a property called line height. Line height is equals to the line spacing. The value we are getting from the space is a line space. Document dot get element by ID. The third one is a my div dot character spacing, which is a letter spacing. So style dot letter spacing and is equals to char spacing plus pixels. Now after that, I want to change the range span IDs also. So here I am adding document dot get element by ID, font value, the space font value, copy this one, font value dot text content is equals to font size. This is a font size. And document dot get element by ID, the line value, this one is a line value, first one is font value and the second one is a line value, because these values will change dynamically when we move the sliders, range sliders. Text content is equals to line spacing value we are getting from here. And document dot get element by ID, the third one is a what is the third one is a line. This is not line value, we need to add character space. Let's add the character space value. So copy this one, character space value dot text content is equals to char spacing, the character space we are getting from this variable. That's it. Up to now we have just finished the JavaScript functionality. Now we require the styles. Go to head, style. First one, let's add the div container, my div. Copy this one, this is the ID node. So I need to add the hash. Font size is 16 pixels. Line height, these are the default line heights I am adding here. Border 1 pixel, solid, and the color I am adding blurry wood. Padding is 10 pixels. Margin, let's add the margin bottom 20 pixels. Text align is the center. Let's add the border radius also, we'll add the 15 pixels. Now what we have the range container also. Let's copy this one, which is a class. So we need to add dot range container, margin bottom is 10 pixels. Now the next thing, we need the range label class. Range label for all. So I'm adding some styles to the range label. Font size is 14 pixels. Font weight bold, let's add the bold. Margin bottom is 5 pixels. And what else we have? Range input range we need to add. We have added the range label. Now we need to add the input range input, which is a class. Width is 100%, appearance none. These styles I am adding roughly according to your website. You can adjust. Height is 6 pixels. Background color is let's add the alias blue. Outline none. Border radius is 5 pixels. Now we'll add some styles to the range input. Dot range input. Let's add the WebKit slide. This is a slide thumb. Appearance none. Width is 16 pixels and height is 16 pixels. So these styles I'm adding and the rounded shape to move the range sliders. Border radius rounded means 50%. We need to add. It's like a button control button. 15%. Background color I'm adding. Let's add the background color is brown. You can change the color also. Let's add a purple color. Cursor pointer. Now again dot range input dot we require mouse range thumb width 16 pixels. We don't require this thing, I don't think so. We don't need. Let's add the range. The span IDs also we require. The span IDs. So range minimum range. Range minimum range dot. We have the maximum also max. Just I'm changing the color red color. That's it. We have done the complete coding part. We got here div container, range container, which is a slider range. We got 3, one for the font size, line space and letter space. This is a JavaScript I have written. And these are the styles. If the styles are not good, we'll change. I have added the styles roughly. Now let's save this file. We'll check the final output of our application. For that we need to open the file explorer. The folder I have created in the E drive, and this is a folder named JavaScript tutorials. Our file name is line space, character space and font size. Let's open that one. And here we got the final output of our application, how to add dynamically the font size, line space and space between the letters using the scroll bars, range sliders. Now notice here, these are the default values I have set. When I move, font size is not increasing. Let's check the line space. The line space is increasing. See here, and the letter space also increasing, but the font size is not increasing. Here the value is changing, but the font is not changing. Let's fix that one. Font size, go to the JavaScript here, font size here. See here, you need to add font size plus space. Now let's save this file. You check the final output again. I'm reloading the browser. Now let's check the final output of our application, how to add dynamically the font size, line spaces and space between the letters using the range slider. Now these are the default values I have set, the range between 5 to 30. When I move, see here, the font size is increasing, and as well as if I move the line space, see, the line space is also decreasing, now increasing the line spaces. Now the letter, the character space between each character, See, the character space is also is working. Now we have set the font size is decreasing, letter space is also working, and the line space is also working. That's it. In this video tutorial I have explained using the range slider how to dynamically change the font size, line space and space between the letters using a JavaScript and CSS styles. Thanks for watching this video tutorial. Please subscribe, share and leave your valuable comment. We'll catch you in my next video tutorial.